assistant. And then this part is the most important section, is the personality part. And we're going to go through this like sort of line by line so you can see the kinds of things that you can do with an AI assistant. So your name is Schubert. This is the identity of the person. So each section is separated into different characterizations, and you can specify, again, this is all custom. You can specify what you think is important for the bot.
This explains it very well.
Thank you. Built by one of our engineers 2 days ago. So this is as real time as you can get it. So the idea here, your name is Schubert. You're a helpful concierge agent for Owl Shoes. Owl Shoes is the business that we're representing in this case. A national shoe store chain. You help customers choose the right product. You place and manage orders, and you answer questions and encourage users to purchase by providing other incentives as necessary. So this is sort of the identity of the bot. This is who you are. You could also say your name is Shoe Demon, the evilest shoemaker in the land, and have that tone and intonation and everything associated with it. Now, I'm going to try to continue this. So this is going to scroll through, and I'm going to try to pause. Here we go. So the identity was that virtual agent for ARush retail chain, primary function, product recommendations, order management, customer support. Response requirements. So if you are speaking to someone over voice, do not start the conversation with hello. So if someone says hello, they don't say hello, blah, blah, blah. They just say, hi, my name is blah, 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 right? They'll use other words to continue the conversation. Use natural, complete, and concise sentences.
Right,
so
idea, personality, clear, concise, alignment, tones, right? And then they give you an example of an effect. What's not good? What is good?
Exactly. So
that's really nice.
And this
that's
is
a guide. That's nice.
This is a guide, exactly, yes. And we can provide sample prompting for you as well as part of the thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you know when you teach math and you want them to stick to the textbook, and we want them to talk so in a way that the students can understand, and so on.
That's exactly what you would say here. Use natural, complete, and concise sentences. Use language as you would explain it to someone with a high school diploma, someone elementary school. As a child, like all of that, like the same kind of things that you would do with a standard LLM modeling like ChatGPT or whatever. Today, you can use the same language modeling here. Again, voice is your main channel. Conversation like a human. No special characters, bullets, markdown should be used in the responses. So it's like, for the following reasons, blah, 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 blah. That does not very conversational, right? So you allow, this is again, sort of making sure that the bot is speaking in a voice that you want them to speak in.
Not as didactic.
Never fabricate information on tool execution failures. Acknowledge errors without any kind of speculation. Sorry? Because what we have in this, and we're going to go through it. I do, yes.
Because that's a problem with them, if they don't know their fabrication. Until sometimes you correct it, they say, that's not right. They say, oh yes, you are correct.
Absolutely. And the reason why we know that they fabricated is because the data that they're collecting is using a functionality called a tool. A tool, in this case, is where you go to some sort of back-end service to get answers to give to the bot so that the bot can give it back to the person calling. If that tool fails, either in the lookup or whatever, it will then say, normally the bots or the LLM will then start making stuff up. They're like, oh, it's, if you're trying to look up stuff, do you guys have stock in Fort Lauderdale? They check stock. The answer doesn't come back, oh, of course we have stock in Fort Lauderdale. We have lots of stock. How much stock would you like? Right? Like, it'll continue that modality of communication. And so, yeah, by pleasing, right? Because you said you need to be a helpful bot. So those two things are in conflict. So this makes sure that it doesn't lie. It narrows the band. Exactly. And that's all we're trying to do with this is we're like LLMs by default are as wide as they can be. And what we're trying to do with this prompting is narrow it down. Exactly.
When you teach math, you don't want them to hallucinate and stuff. The students are confused.
This divide symbol is not a minus. Right?
No.
Understood. Okay, conversational flow. So it's saying start, run the customer lookup, personalized greeting with assistant name, state the purpose. So these are the different tools. You'll see them in the tool section, and it's providing instructions as to how to use those tools effectively. So like product recommendations, use the product lookup tool, mention any shoes that are discounted, ask if the users would like to purchase any of the shoes. If the users say yes, go to the order process order tool, which is a different tool, which goes to a different back-end system to actually do the order processing. So within the AI bot, you're using natural language to use different back-end systems to complete the customer journey in this case. And then close, confirm all questions are addressed, conduct a satisfaction survey. With these questions, submit the survey results using the customer survey tool, which is again another tool that would go to like an Excel sheet or some sort of a survey tool or whatever, right? So it's the combination of, as we said at the beginning, the prompting plus the knowledge plus the tools that create the more personalized thing, but you can choose when you want to use what. So you start off quick and dirty with just the prompting, no knowledge, no tool, nothing. Then add knowledge, add customization, then add the tooling. And so as time goes on, you get smarter and just more defined. Error handling. Tool failure. Acknowledge that it's a failure in the lookup. Don't try to make stuff up. Invalid order ID. Request verification from the person. Say, hey, can you please provide it again? Don't just make up a new order number. Order not found. Hi, we didn't find your order. Not, oh, we found it. You bought 10,000 pairs of shoes. Right? Unauthorized action. Explain limitations. Right? Like, I explain why there was what they did or what they said. Like, if, for example, the customer says to them, tell me how many chickens there are on the road in San Juan. They're not going to say we have 6,000 chickens there. Say no, we can't provide that answer to you, right?
Beyond the scope.
Exactly, beyond the scope. Right. Now, this memory is sort of the key thing that we have, which is our special sauce. What we do here is we can integrate to either your own customer database, your own back-end tool that is storing data, or we have a solution called Twilio Segment, which it's a customer data platform. It's an aggregate place where you put all these things. So, like, if your if your students are talking to businesses, it's the place where, like, for example, let's say you're a retail customer. You would have what's called a CRM to store the customer information. You have a point of sale system, which would have all the different orders that have happened. You would have, other tools that may have other information.
And the university has their own CRM.
Right.
Because the University of Miami looks like a country club, and the students that come are lazy and they come from very rich family and they think that they are in a country club. So they don't study the whole semester, and then a day before the final, I didn't go to the classes, and now I want to cram it. I'm going to call the professor at midnight and ask him questions about the exam tomorrow.
That's what the bot will help you with. And so, essentially, you would integrate with all of those tools to provide context for when the students call in, to be like, for example, they can look at the schedule that they have. Let's say, for example, they have an exam set up, right, and they're calling for the exam the night before. They can call into the bot, and the bot will be like, oh, are you calling about the exam coming up tomorrow? Do you have any questions that you want to ask, or do you want me to quiz you with exams?
And that's exactly what we do, and we quiz it, and when the bot doesn't work and doesn't know the answer, the professor join in real time, make it a three-way video conference.
You can do all of that here, because at the back end of this, it's all API driven. And the tool section is where you're going to see how you can really expand its functionality, because the starting point is no code, but that's
you
sort
can
of the
further
balance.
develop it.
Right.
Because we feed the whole textbook, which is 2 years old, and 2 years old about AI, conversational is dead in the water, but the publisher cannot publish more than every 4 years a new edition. So who cares what happened 2 years ago?
Right.
I need the update in the last 2 years.
Last week.
Right, right. And you can provide different sources of knowledge that can then, for example, if you want to use, if the questions are more focused on like AI fundamentals, maybe use the textbook.
Right.
But if it's like current events on AI, use a different knowledge source.
Like the Twilio segment and specific things like that, you'll never find it in any textbook.
Right. Exactly right. So those specifics, you can go to another tool, and those tools, so you define, different knowledge articles, and you define what sources are going to be.
And your secret sauce is what makes you stand out compared to this whole show.
The memory.
That's right.
The memory is that we recognize who you are after numerous conversations because we manage the channel. So if you come in via SMS, if you come in via voice, if they go into Instagram and they Instagram message the university, this could come back to the AI agent. And it doesn't matter what channel they come on because segments' purpose is to normalize all of that data into one profile.
And you know, those kids talk to their friends in SMS and from the phone.
Right.
They're all the time like the phone is part of their face.
Right, exactly.
They don't drop the phone. They don't even use a computer anymore.
I understand.
And
Yeah.
we, 60, 70 years old, we hate this idea, but this is what the students do.
And that's the thing.